Today we're going to talk about the elephant in the room for many guitar players, and that is noodling. A lot of times when I'm at gigs or jam sessions, I'll hear guitar players soloing, and I can tell they're just thinking about what key the song is in, and they start stringing together licks in that key without paying much attention to the underlying chords or the arrangement of the song. Now, I can always tell this when I hear it because I've struggled with this myself. I've been there too. And if this is a problem for you, I've got an easy fix to help get you out of this rut. Let's get into it. So this noodly lick-based soloing becomes really apparent when you have a song with very distinct chord changes. So the song we're going to use as an example today is a pretty common one that gets called a lot on jam sessions. It's Just the Two of Us by Bill Withers. Now the song's in F minor, and these are the changes. All right, so let me demonstrate what I'm talking about with lick-based key center soloing. This song's in the key of F minor, so we're going to go to our trusty F minor pentatonic scale and start stringing together some ideas over these changes. Now, this can sound pretty good if you get creative with the phrasing and start moving it around the fretboard. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. So this approach sounds pretty good. The only problem is there's a lot of passing chords that we're ignoring. And if you play this way long enough, you might start to get frustrated that all your lines kind of sound the same. So one of the easy ways to start outlining these chords is just target the third of each chord. The third is a very strong melodic note because it defines the quality of the chord. And there's plenty of examples of melodies that use thirds, like Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra, or jazz standards like Autumn Leaves are great examples. And if you know your basic bar chord shapes, it's very easy to find the thirds because that's the note that changes when you go from a major chord to a minor chord. So this D flat major chord, the third is right here. And if we go down a half step to C, we just move that note down a half step. And if we go up to our F minor chord, the third is right here. And then down a whole step to E flat minor, we have the third here. A flat major, the third is right there. And then we're back to our D flat major. So we can play a simple exercise where we just string together the thirds found in these bar chords, right? Just moving the thirds to cover each chord. So I'm going to play this exercise along to the backing track. Here's what it sounds like. So this gives us a basic framework, and from here we can start tying these thirds together with notes from the F minor scale. This is where things start to come together and we can play musical phrases that really fit over each one of these chords. So I'm going to play the same sequence of thirds taken from these bar chord shapes, and I'm going to connect them together with little fragments of the F minor scale. So the next step is to combine this key center approach of playing out of F minor or F minor pentatonic with this chord tone approach of targeting the thirds of each chord. When we combine these things together, we can start developing some freedom to play over these changes and acknowledge each chord as it comes. And this exercise of targeting the thirds will train your ear to hear these notes as well as train your muscle memory to find them around the fretboard. And of course, you can move this around through different positions using different chord voicings as a guide for where your chord tones are. And if you want to get deeper into this stuff, I've got a bunch of in-depth courses that cover this kind of topic, so check the links down in the description. So I'm going to play a few times over the backing track, just improvising and combining these things together. Some bluesy minor pentatonic phrases along with targeting the thirds of the different chords as they come. Alright guys, check out my Patreon page. The link is down in the description if you want tabs and notation for these examples or this backing track to practice to. That stuff's going to be all posted up there this week. Until next time, happy practicing and take care.